Okay. That opening video, which you probably weren't watching, David, where the crowd is going, sack Dan Andrews. That was actually
I'm with
Sydney.
them. I'm
That's
with
in
them.
Sydney.
Oh,
That's Sydney.
What a good idea.
Protest.
Was the Governor General there?
Dan wants to
I
roll
think
out
they might
federally.
be
Wants to
onto
roll
something.
communism out federally. There you go. They're already ready for him in Sydney.
I mean, what a day, mate.
Well, you know that competition between Melbourne and Sydney that goes on all the time? And sort of like Melbourne's always saying, no, we're better. And Sydney sort of goes, oh, okay, whatever. They don't really care. Well, finally, Melbourne's getting its stay in Sydney. You know what I mean?
That's true.
Oh, my God.
Sack Dan Andrews. So thank you, Dan, again. Dan.
Thank you, Dan.
He's putting this state on the map.
On the map. Internationally, too.
Yeah. At last, he's
said,
bringing Australians together in there.
We should always be thanking Daniel Andrews for bringing us all together in this cause, because there's no way you get this amount of people to unite against something.
Right,
I mean, it's extraordinary. We really,
Federal aspirations, I reckon, for Dan. Yeah, he's uniting us.
I saw a lot of people today.
He's uniting us. It's brilliant.
Don't give him ideas.
Last week we had you, David, were talking about how big the show was in with 100,000, and I was really like, oh my God, what a shame I missed it and stuff like this. This week, unbelievable. How'd you go from 100,000 to almost 500,000 people?
I totally believe it, to be honest. I totally believe it, because when I was there last week, and I mean, I spoke to so many people and I heard so many conversations of just average, decent Australians who are absolutely fucking angry. And also what I heard a lot, I mean, because we pushed past like literally 50,000 people to try and get to the front so we could hear things. And what I heard so often was so many people who are so angry at the media. They were angry at the media, and they know that the media lie about everything.
Lying,
Yeah, people are really on that the media lie about absolutely fucking everything.
They lied about
the ABC is still saying today there was a couple of thousand people there. They
were still lying today about this demonstration. I watched the ABC News and SBS, and because there was like 100 people from Antifa and a few, Soros paid, communist type agents or whatever, and there were a few of those people. Freedom marches.
Anti-freedom marches.
SBS tried to make out that they were equitable, even though at the end of the piece it said, "Oh well, they were outnumbered by the freedom demonstrators." You know what I mean?
Yeah, by about
it's like 100 people versus 400,000. It's extraordinary.
I walked past on the way to the Parliament. I walked past their march, just purely accidental, boys. Purely accidental.
Of course, you wouldn't want to get into a fight.
There would have been about 80 of them there, tops. I'm being generous, about 80 at that stage. I'm not saying 20 more people didn't come. They may well have.
No,
and the police would circle them, had a cordon around them, and they're facing outward, facing towards where I was walking past them. So they were clearly, more concerned. That
and they were just screaming obscenities.
Now,
before listening to fascist lies, I was saying.
This woman here, Angie. Wait, David, my turn. Wait, this is really, you're going to love this. Angie Hine knocked on our door the other night because apparently a while ago on a show, I said, I wish I had some ruby slippers that I could click together and go back to a pre-COVID state. And she made me ruby slippers.
Wow. Fantastic, mate.
Fantastic.
Now,
I expect you to be in those next week, mate.
A Richard size. So when you come to the next month, Richard, we've got your shoes.
Well, Richard, you can walk a mile in her shoes, mate.
That's true.
In her shoes.
Well, if I'm going to make my protest debut, I'm going to break my protest cherry in those.
Beautiful.
But Michael, I want to ask one other question here. How does Ms. Hine know exactly where you live, Michael?
We got surprised too. I think that she followed my son's drug dealer.
Oh, really?
Ivermectin, that is.
Therefore, Michael, you are in a public forum. You're in public right now, Michael. Just careful, Hey, I did want to say, I think it's a sign of desperation if they have to conjure up 100 stupid, moronic, anti-freedom demonstrators. It's a little bit of a sign of desperation.
They're definitely scared, David. I was in the city. And I saw a lot of
bullshit where they had the the supposed neo-Nazi guy, blah blah bullshit, threatening to assassinate Andrews. I mean,
that
come
was
on.
rubbish.
These are desperate maneuvers, you know?
Desperate.
Yeah.
They are. And they're really scared of this movement. They're really scared of this movement. And I saw a lot of the people in the city who were leaving the demonstration and stuff because I was doing some other job in the city. And like, it's mums and dads. It's left and right. It's centrists. It's just everybody. And it's really they are shit scared of this. Believe me. That's why they called out their stupid Antifa rubbish.
Especially on the weekend. On the weekend, it's really mainstream. Mums and you can't have that many people, and not most
people are sick of it. A lot of them will be vaccinated too. Many will be vaccinated, unvaccinated. They just don't like any more of this totalitarian.
The reality is, though, today when we're walking down Burke Street Mall chanting, and it's all fantastic, 400,000 plus, whatever it was, the inside in all those shops we walk past, the apartheid is being enacted because you have to have a vaccine passport. Anyone that wanted to go into those shops today needed a vaccine passport. Otherwise, they would have been thrown out, physically ejected from commercial shopping arrangements in Australia. So this is the reality.
It's been a big week. You know, we had the obviously the Somonic thing that kind of derailed the bill, which was actually fantastic news. Obviously, we're all excited about that, and obviously there'll probably be something happening on that next week, perhaps. But like, you know, they announced it afterwards. Oh, it's a big Freedom Day. Friday was a big Freedom Day, but that was the day when everyone had to start presenting their vaccine passports whenever they go to Kmart or just about anywhere now. And of course, Freedom Day was the day of the new totalitarianism really crushing down. Isn't this extraordinarily 1984? It literally is 1984, and the double speak of it. It's like they were talking about Freedom Day. So what? I mean, even for people who are vaccinated, think about the hassle. Every time you just walk into any shop, you just gotta, oh, there's my fucking vaccine paper again. Oh, you know, papers, please, every single shop.
Yeah. So is that going to be the case in 5 years' time? No, there's something else they're going to roll out. This is not going to last.
Weird is going on,
this is not going to last. This is impossible to enforce continually.
The numbers today are just showing if they continue to increase. I mean, if they increase again and hit 1 million, I mean, basically we're a failed state. All the institutions are against us, and the people have clearly said we don't want it. Now, I did take some pictures today of fascists just to let people know that we did have fascists in the crowd.
Well, let's have a look at these fascists.
Here's one.
Oh, yes.
Hitler Youth.
Goose stepping with a kid on his back.
He's definitely a Nazi. Look at him.
Well, he can't goose step anymore, but he would if he could.
Can't wait to get to Auschwitz.
Not for lack of trying.
Yeah. That's what he did to his legs. He just goose stepped so much.
He wore them out. He
He was having a rest.
It's all about disguises, and there it is.
Yeah, there he is. That's the leader. That's
India.
The leader.
Honestly,
India sided with the Nazis in World War II, mate. Obvious fascist. Obvious.
And I'll have you.
You know what? You know what I reckon we should do, guys? We should all talk at once. Let's try that.
That's what we always do on this show.
Hey, I just want to say one thing.
I'm surprised you heard me say that.
Yeah, we did. But, I mean, there's a bit of an own goal in some ways, because when they declare that today's march of, let's just say, roughly 500,000 people is all extremists and neo-Nazis and blah, 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 every single person who was there today, now knows, if they didn't know beforehand, they now know that the media lies about everything.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah. Yeah, and look, honestly, if there were that many neo-Nazis in Victoria, don't you think we'd be running the state by now? Do you think we'd still be like protesting? I think we'd be running the show by now. I'd be the armaments minister, pumping out tanks and stuff. I mean, come on.
Hey, Richard,
let's go.
No, our numbers still aren't big enough to try the coup, guys. There's still not enough of us. Wait. Let's wait.
We'd all dress better for it.
For sure.
When do we get our uniforms? When do we get our uniforms?
You go, boss.
Yeah.
You go, boss, baby. This is shopping, you know, Collins Street.
Yeah. But I think Damo's point was really, really, really solid. That's great. The march is fantastic. People power, fantastic. But meanwhile, behind closed doors, the state is in a state of apartheid. Let's not forget it.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And you can be sure Daniel Andrews is crossbenching away with either blackmail, bribery, whatever, to get it. He only needs is one more vote, isn't it? So, and he's set. He's got to find some bastard next week probably, and then he'll have his powers again. So,
I mean, imagine for a second what they're up to behind the scenes. That's right. Yeah. They'll be blackmailing and bribing away like you cannot imagine right now. Yeah. You know, so.
Obviously, some of them can't be bought, and some of them definitely not supporting him. There's a few that publicly stated they would never support this, and I think we should all give a round of applause to Adam Somniak to come back as an independent, and fucking derail the bastard.
And he's seeing now. He would have been seeing today. If I kill this bill, I'll never have to buy a drink.
Ever again. I mean, what's he accused of?
You reckon that's his biggest concern?
What's he accused of? Brand stacking? Always forgiven. Always forgiven.
The hero of the nation. Because Sydney
he would be.
As well. Yeah. And that's what I think most politicians, to me, they're going to go, I don't want to touch this bill. This bill is toxic. How the frick do I get out of here?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because this
Did you hear about Richardson today? He tried to go and film the anti-racist, what's it called?
The anti-freedom march.
He wanted to get in amongst them and kind of talk to them, but they wouldn't let him in. And guess what? They were all white. So the black guy, they didn't let into the anti-racism. All the white people who were holding the anti-racism demonstration wouldn't let the one black guy who was media wouldn't let him in. It's extraordinary. Ridiculous.
Campaign against racism and fascism. That's what it stands for. CAF. Campaign against racism.
Real Russian. Get out of here. Get out of
here. That's why I'm saying. That's why I'm pointing it out. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That really is. That took the cake, I thought.
The other interesting thing that was really beautiful and really powerful is most of the signs were handmade, whether they're on T-shirts or hats. Everyone actually. Not only did 400,000 people turned up, but most of them actually sat at home trying to come up with an individual sign.
I like in the shops
last week,
especially when you're not allowed to go in.
Good point.
About unback sperm.
I'd like a fuck Dan Andrews sign. Have you got one?
I got this one here.
Sold out.
What happened to consent before?
Nice.
Yeah, I saw that one.
Nice.
That takes artistic talent. That's good. You know, thought about it, try to get the message across, try to find a visual. You know,
there's a market here for somebody who can, make these signs. I think, they're very, very popular.
Last weekend, someone was selling Daniel Andrews punching bags off the back of the
car. I saw that. Yeah,
I saw kind of. What did you say?
He was doing a roaring trade too. He was when we walked past. He couldn't keep up with the demand, to be honest.
Well, apparently he was a bit opportunistic. He started marking them up. Someone bought one for 30, then someone else got 40, and then they were like 50 by the end of the day.
Capitalism,
capitalism.
And did you see? What did you think of the? Someone brought along a kind of what's it called, a noose and everything, and kind of they made up a. What's it called? A scaffold.
I didn't see them bring it this.
And then they hung one of those blow-up dolls. It
was a guillotine. It was meant to be a guillotine in the back of the.
No, I think it was meant to be.
I didn't see that today.
No, that was in the news a few days ago, and of course that was all in the.
Of a night time, it turned up one night at the.
It turned up one night. Yeah, there was someone brought it on the end of a truck, and obviously it's a joke, and I thought it was amusing.
Well, it's symbolic, isn't it? It's symbolic. Yeah. I mean, most people would think if they connected it with anything, they'd connect it with the French Revolution, wouldn't they?
Exactly.
Yeah. And the
finishing of this sort of out-of-touch elite. That's what it means historically and symbolically. Of course, the media, because they have to lie about everything, they connect it directly with violence, of course, blah, blah, blah. But actually, it's symbolic. I think
it could have been the other side too. You know what I mean? It could have been the other side doing it deliberately because that's
controlled opposition.
Saul Alinsky's rules for radicals. Just humiliate the other side. Turn up in a Ku Klux Klan mask, and suddenly they think, oh, that's it's associated.
Yeah. Well, it's a game they play with the media, isn't it? Because they know the media are always going to be on side with whatever lie they tell.
Yeah.
So it's easy.
Yeah, walk on a stage with Donald Head's head decapitated as a plastic, effigy. That's fine. No,
that's all kosher.
Not a problem. Yeah, that's not a problem in the world.
Yeah. And the other beautiful thing today, lots of people were vaccinated. Lots of they were telling me, "Yep, I'm vaccinated," and they were still there.
See, that's the thing about
this thing of trying to divide us, which is what Dan did the other day, where he said, "Okay, you're all open now. The unvaccinated can't come in." He's trying to divide us, and what happens? We have the biggest march in history, and the vaccinated and the unvaccinated together, and no one was checking your passport. No one cared. They just have
the vaccinated don't want the unvaccinated to be kept out of things. I'll tell you that right now. They realize it's a personal choice. And that no one is into this apartheid thing. It has very, very few supporters, even among some of the more pro-vaccine people. It's really
some of them are so resentful at having been coerced to take it too. They're so angry because they were forced to take it. They were really.
And across the road from Parliament House, there is a line of cafes, and I swear to God, the owners of those will be bashing their heads against a wall. Because there's this huge market of people who want to come across and get coffees and food. And the staff go, no, you're not allowed. You're not allowed.
Extraordinary.
So they're just missing out on.
See, there's no free market. This is against free market capitalism. This is like the basis of our whole society, basically, for the last 100, 200 years. It's free market capitalism. And this is what I mean. Did you notice Scott Morrison did say something against it? He did mention that. The unvaccinated should be allowed to go to pubs and stuff, and that the mandate should end now because we've reached these vaccination targets or whatever. So he is at least, he's the fucking prime minister. He could assert himself. You never know. I mean,
sorry?
No.
No. I mean, seriously, come on. He's just a lapdog. He's a little pathetic poodle, that guy. Really?
I know that, but
what's his name?
He also wants to win the next election. And he knows
He's pathetic.
Lickspittle, that's right. That's his name, Lickspittle. Yes.
No, I'm not going to argue that they're not part of it, but I do think he is pushing a slightly softer line than Labor and people like Daniel Andrews, and that he might actually.
That's his job is to pretend to play good cop, bad cop. Come on, I don't believe any of them. They're all corrupt. They're all bribed. They're all blackmailed. Forget it.
Yeah, but he could actually. But I mean,
great build.
He is the prime minister. He could overrule Daniel Andrews on something like vaccine passports and stuff. I don't know if he will do that, but he possibly could.
Look, this is Michael's show. Let him speak.
Pauline Hanson.
Yeah, that's right, Michael. Anyway, look.
and Gardy, Golden Gardy, said it's an extremely good bill. And she's got 2 of her senators and 2 Liberal senators that are blocking everything in the Senate. So the Liberal cannot get anything passed in the Senate before the election.
We could have
they negotiate with these people, and they want mandates gone, they want passports gone, and apparently it's a brilliant bill. So
and that may be why Scott Morrison is talking that way. That could be why Scott Morrison is talking this anti-mandate, anti-vaccine passport stuff, because otherwise he could be.
So look, I feel like I should make a fairly dark prediction here, okay, which I hope does not come true. But obviously, the forces of darkness here right now, this is a global operation, but right here, right now, they're uneasy. They're in a bit of a panic mode.
Yep.
I could make a dark prediction that sometime in the next week or two, there's going to be some sort of false flag attack of some kind. I feel like they're warming the public up for this. I hope this doesn't happen, okay? I don't want anybody injured or hurt in any kind of way, but I've seen this before. I've seen how desperate
the playbook. It's from the playbook.
I've seen them warming it up in the media with this stupid nonsense. I mean, the first one I saw was Daniel Andrews in Bendigo fleeing because of the security scare of like 2 old grannies with placards. Okay.
5 middle-aged women saying, sack Dan Andrews.
Poor bastard. Their hearts with placards, and it was a security scare, and then
they're building that narrative,
that's right. They're building a narrative. They arrested some joker for threatening to assassinate him on the internet.
And then there was Andy Medic's transgender daughter, which seemed to be set up as well. The footage we see, I watched the footage today of that, and it's like she, in inverted commas, was spray painting something, and then someone threw something like it looked like another person from Antifa threw something at her. Then she's like, runs into the shop and pretends to be hurt. It looks like that was an attempt. Like what that guy did in Chicago when he said, I was attacked by 2 Trump supporters.
Richard, I believe that she she threw the spray can first because she was defacing one of some, propaganda
Correct.
from our side.
One of our
and they came along and went, hey, what are you doing?
One of your posters.
Spray can. Yeah.
People, they're building a narrative here. Okay, I hope to be wrong, but they're building a narrative here. So if it happens, okay, if something happens, keep in mind that it's a lie. They're gonna lie. They're desperate. They're gonna lie about something. Okay, I hope it doesn't happen, but just be careful and be aware that if it happens, whatever it is, it's a lie.
Think about this.
I can't believe that.
They've cried wolf so much. They've lied so much. In the crowd, most people have no time for the media at all. They just see it as lies. They just go.
You know what they say about demonstrations? They say when there's like 100,000, there's really 1 million people. Who supported that. It's 1 in 10. So think about it. You had 400,000 today. That's 4 million people. There's only 6 million people in the bloody state, mate. So you basically got, it's between 60 and 80% of the population of Victoria behind you at this stage. Believe me, they're shitting bricks. They're shitting bricks right now. Labor itself.
1/25th of Australia. 1/25th of Australia protesting today.
Incredible. And there's a big one up in Sydney as well, Joel Jamal was talking about that. That was great.
But this standoff between our media and their media, the alternative media and the mainstream media, and because we do chase them off now, I could understand why the mainstream media would even be circumspect about turning up at an event so big as it is today, and I have no empathy or sympathy for them. But it just further entrench people in their corners, and that's what this sort of communist takeover does. People just get entrenched in their corners. It becomes impossible to have any dialogue in the middle. It doesn't occur.
I mean,
Matthew Guy comes out too.
Today, as a media, how could you not want to be there as a journalist today in what is the biggest march in Australian history? One of the guys that is helping us now in the background used to go to all the Vietnam marches. He said this left the Vietnam marches for dead, like 4 times as big and they were huge.
It was extraordinary.
At one point when I left Parliament, apparently they were already at Flagstaff. And I was just in this river of people. I didn't meet Damien until we got to the Gardens. But it was just, I called Mark in because he was at the Gardens. I called him and said, oh, look, I'll be there probably in about 3 days. Because it was just this slow. And then the crowd would stop and cheer and you'd all cheer and you go, what are we cheering for?
What are we cheering for?
Yeah, no idea. Yeah.
The cheer would come from a mile ahead of us. And it was just beautiful. And
don't worry. I mean, there'll be crisis meetings right now. I mean, at various party, particularly Labor. Labor Party headquarters tonight, federally as well. We'll be like, hang on, what the fuck is going on? This is a major people's movement. This is crossing party lines left and right.
Revolution.
It's nothing to do with right-wing extremism, I'll tell you that. This is
so be careful. Be careful, people, because they'll try and sink it, okay? And they'll stoop to any fucking bullshit, okay?
But, David, imagine trying to put this genie back in the bottle. Try and put this genie back in the bottle. Wow.
It's going to be difficult,
honestly.
I mean, look at the last 3 marches. 25,000, almost 100,000. Third march, 450,000.
Next week? God knows. We're going to run out of people.
And, of course, the erstwhile opposition
people.
The erstwhile opposition leader of the Liberal Party in Victoria, State Liberal Party, Matthew Guy, says to his Liberal members, don't associate with the protesters.
That's going to become hard.
Do you want to try and take a little risk, mate, for a bit of reward?
I heard him talking in favour. He's got, what's the name of that guy? Is it Bernie Finn?
Bernie Finn.
He's a Liberal guy, isn't he? And he was down there supporting them. And
Bernie Finn's a bit maverick. Bernie Finn's a little bit maverick, and that was last weekend. And that's when Matthew Guy came out after last weekend. Bernie Finn doing and saying, "Look, he wants us to be distanced. Or his members to be distanced from."
There'll be a crisis meeting in the Liberals too, because I mean, basically everybody today absolutely holds the balance of power in the next election. All those people that were there today, absolutely right. 400,000 people, they hold the balance of power. So Daniel Andrews is definitely out, mate. At the next election, so it is a kind of win.
And obviously, I think
Dan's going to hold the balance of power in the Senate.
I mean, they might oust him. They might oust him and say, "Listen, man, you're finished."
I think Dan's going hard, doing the dirty work for the Labor Party, and has every intention of resigning at some point. I think he'd like to have his big build first. He'd like to be, the emperor that we look at his big build, and then he resigns, gives them clean air, and Molino comes in or something.
Correct.
Like it's 101.
Correct, Damo. Very, very astute observation.
Thanks, Richard.
Ruster?
Yeah. Yeah, of course. Look. They're a bunch of snakes. Yeah, sure. They'll get whatever weasel to do the dirty
Shut
work.
up, Michael.
He'll get the golden parachute, of course. I mean, don't forget. However, this is a global operation. I mean, I think I said last week I spoke to somebody in Holland, and it was creepy how similar the schedule was in Holland.
Yeah, it's exactly the same.
Austria.
Austria.
I heard some wisecrack saying they're doing it in alphabetical order. Get Australia and Austria first.
Look out, Bahamas next.
The world is watching us, and for a long time, the world has been going, "Where's the Australians? Why aren't you fighting?
Yeah.
Why aren't you fighting?"
We are now, baby.
Look, have a look. And all we wanted today was freedom. That was it.
Yep.
We were there. We don't want totalitarian.
Any more of this crap.
We want freedom. We don't want apartheid. We want freedom.
Exactly. There's a great Russell Brand video this week. Did you all see that? The Russell Brand video? Yeah. He came out in support of Australia. Yeah. He was he's very articulate himself these days. And, he looks like Jesus. He's got the Jesus look going on. He's very good.
Yeah. That was
How do you reckon it's going to roll out in the Bahamas? It's going to be interesting when they roll it out in the Bahamas.
Well, I'll tell you what, I volunteer to go over there to do some demonstrating in the Bahamas.
You can demonstrate the Bahamas, but not at home. You got
it, baby. No, okay. I'm going to say live on air. I will come next Saturday. I'm going to be
I met a Caribbean family today. They're a really lovely family. First time they'd ever been to a protest, and they all came. All the kids, everything.
Sure.
Yeah, it was really. It was non-stop for finding out people.
There was a lot of
need to mobilize everybody that we possibly can for next week.
Next week.
This is the strategy. Next week, let's make it 600,000-700,000. Mobilize.
You coming, David?
Go after the million. Let's go.
Yeah,
go
after the million. Yeah,
go for the big one. Go for gold.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Governor General will have to get involved then if we get a million. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
I would love to see Daniel Andrews, Gough Whitlam, wouldn't you? I mean, wouldn't that be wonderful?
Be
that would be the best result we could get. The Governor General just says, hang on a minute.
Under the state constitution, he has to sign off on it. So,
does he really?
Yeah.
Well, I can't see that happening.
Apparently. but she can suggest it, but he has to sign off on it.
The other interesting thing, too, is I think a lot of people have thought there's nothing we can do. These people are too big. And that's why a lot of people have given up. And I think now they're going, wow, that's not the case. Lots of people have been coming up, said, I saw a speech, I saw this, and I thought, stuff it, I'm coming. So people are really sitting there going, no, I'm in, I'm coming.
Absolutely. But I do want to say one thing.
David, I want to give Goliath. David
I want to say, give you credit for you guys who protested, when they're doing the rubber bullets, because, that was very scared. That scared so many people off, obviously, you know what I mean? But many of you guys kept going, and you kept the flame alive in that tough time. And now you're seeing the results. You're seeing 100,000, 400,000. God knows, we could do 800 next week.
We'll be back in the RSL. We'll be talking about the Battle of the Shrine.
Yeah,
that's it.
The
Shrine. You will be doing that one day. Don't you worry.
My foot, wasn't it?
You hit your hand, didn't it, Michael? You got wings, didn't you? Me wing, my arm was sore for a week.
He had been masturbating. You would have been in much better.
He's just gone too far. He's just
come on, guys. Come on.
A family show, mate.
Now the other issue
was an 8 o'clock show.
We have to interrupt this broadcast to ask about Michael's health. You tested positive. Now let's hear what was it like having COVID?
Give us the rundown.
It's as bad as they say.
Oh,
as bad as they say. Yeah,
it's the flu. Is
it? They had pipes up my ass and pipes down my throat and in my ears and everything, and they were pumping on me in the hospital. Stay with us, Griffith. Stay with us. You're on air at 7:30. No.
This is how good the AI technology is. He's up and going again. You wouldn't even know. You can't even tell the difference.
He's a clone. He's a clone.
Yeah. It was a graphene oxide in him. Bang, he was fine.
They vaxxed him.
And today, do you know the funniest thing today? This has been the funniest thing. So they let me out at midnight last night. They said, okay, you're free to go. And I went down to the steps and people were coming up and rubbing me. Give me COVID. And today people have been going, I want COVID. Hug me. I want the COVID. And
there you go.
And people have been coming up saying, I've had it too. So many people have come up to me today and said, I've had it. That said, it was a cold. I lost my sense of smell, lost my sense of taste, but it was just a cold. I've kept my sense of smell and taste. I just had a cold.
You're too strong, mate. Too strong. Too good.
So why do people want to get it?
Can I
What's the
suggest
masochistic tendency? Sorry.
Can I suggest something really, really controversial?
Yes, David.
It's just a cold or flu.
David.
What's going
on,
mate?
What's
Hang on a minute. This video is going to get fake news now.
You're telling me the mainstream media is going to tell lies. Now COVID's not real.
67 shows on the air, never shut down, and you just can't keep yourself to yourself.
Where's the goat? I thought you'd been the goat on. Thank you.
We missed the goat.
I haven't done the goat in ages. Too lazy. No. Takes a lot of effort to click that button.
Okay.
But that's what it is. Lots of people coming up and going, that's all it is. And I'm not saying, and then some people were saying, that people do die of it and do end up in hospital, and that's true. But they do that with the flu as well. They get pneumonia, and they do that with the flu, and it's the same age group, in the late 80s and stuff. I looked up today, there was 11 men below 60 have died in the last year or so, and 4 women. That's it. And we've just done all this destruction to our society.
Yeah.
All this destruction to families, all this damage to our kids. People can see through the bullshit now. They can. They can just
small business. The destruction of small business is extraordinary.
No, it's destruction of business, destruction of this. It's coercive.
The CBD.
It's all bullshit. And so
middle-aged women
with all their millions of dollars, and it doesn't matter how much money you spend. A lie's a lie, and you're just a load of lying. A load of lying bastards. That's all.
Yeah. That's what I felt last week. I felt this incredible anger, in the crowd. The crowd were average, decent people, and they were so angry about this. All of them, but they were like bubbling cauldrons of anger because they've had enough.
Yeah.
We've all had
I
enough.
met a lot of women today really angry about what they're going to try and do to my grandchildren. That line has been crossed, and they are furious. It's a quiet, seething, feminine anger, and it's like, whoa, I could feel it. They were talking to me today. Really, no, seriously, it's like, white hot.
They put off till January injecting children with the Pfizer, and we all know the Pfizer's a fucking myocarditis, like smorgasbord. I mean, not for everybody, obviously, but God knows what it will do to young children. I mean, it's just shocking. It's shocking.
That's evil. It's evil. They're engaged in evil. Come on.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
They are. It's so
even Pfizer. I remember when this vaccine.
Now, the reason they're attacking us now is because, and this is the lesson I've learned. I've said this before. Tyranny hates the truth, and that's the truth. 450,000 people who want freedom. That's the truth, and tyranny can't handle it. You're never going to have 450,000 Melbournians marching for tyranny unless you got a load of guns forcing.
You get 100 who are most likely paid. Yeah. That's all you get today.
That's right. 100. That's it.
100 soy boys. 100 soy boys.
Yeah. Losers.
Can you imagine, even if you were
doing
paid,
social
how
studies at
embarrassing
uni?
it would be?
It would be embarrassing.
Down. Trying to chant with 100 people to the same level that the huge roar of people are roaring down the other street.
And telling the
when I went past, I was saying "fuck fascist lies." That was the extent of it. Fuck fascist lies.
And then after that, then telling the black journalist whose live stream is going global, "Oh, you can't come in, you can't interview us." Piss off, I mean, it's ridiculous.
And he,
fascist.
I see we've got this.
Ruckshun's a fascist, of course.
There they are. 100 of these absolute losers. I mean, what are they saying? Basically, what they're saying is support the mainstream media, support the establishment. I mean, what a
seriously, what was Rukshan thinking when he walked in there? To think he's going to film him? Because even when I walked past him at a sort of slight distance, I was thinking, I hope no one, you know what I mean? Like, he thought he was going to get in the middle, and they'd just go, "Oh, good on you, brother,"
Well, last March,
he's a fairly.
The crowd actually put Rukshan on their shoulders. I mean, Rukshan goes by, he's coming because everyone is chanting his name. He's like a god.
Michael, he is. I am happy to put you on my shoulders, mate. Yeah. I'm happy to put you on my shoulders.
Yeah.
Not the same.
And the other thing Rukshan said himself on his live stream is he said that most of the anti-racist protesters were white, and that was far less diverse. The anti-racism protest was far less diverse than the actual Freedom March, which was incredibly diverse.
Like the Greens Party, every time.
I know, it's extraordinary. It's fucking crazy. It's topsy-turvy world, mate. Topsy-turvy world.
And that's because
it's because of white guilt. Mums and dad, doctors, their children.
That's what it is. Yeah,
white guilt. I hate racism. Oh, it's everywhere.
That's what it is. Damo, another astute observation.
They lie about
fire
everything
tonight with Richard.
Fire, baby.
Sorry, David, you were going to talk.
No, it's fine. Look, and that makes sense when you look at it through the lens of the fact that they're lying about everything.
Everything.
You know? Yeah. So of course, a knot of 100 uptight upper class losers are going to be shouting, you know, at the crowd of a whole bunch of different mixed people. Of course,
upper middle class white people.
And the really shocking part of it,
they're lying about everything.
They always have been. This is not now. They always have been. It's called television programming for a reason. Programming.
Well, yeah,
that one, Richard? Did you like that one too? I think
the other interesting thing about this other march is they've got posters everywhere. I mean, they put so much marketing into it.
The Greens will be funding that. Yeah.
All we do is share. All we do is post it on our Facebook page.
And 400,000 people.
And 400,000.
They have like a $10,000 advertising campaign and get 100 people.
Yeah, there it is. Look at that. Look at that.
Yeah,
that's unbelievable, man.
It's unbelievable, man. Yes.
Yeah. And I don't even think that's all of it.
Right.
So, yeah.
Extraordinary.
Yeah.
You can't fit it all in. You can't fit it all in the same.
Wait on the.
No matter what stunt they pull, because I hope I'm wrong, but they're desperate, and I think they're going to try and pull a few stunts. No matter what stunts they may pull, let's get everyone there next week. No matter what, don't believe whatever lie they come out with. Don't believe it. Turn up next week.
Yeah, they're definitely pushing the narrative of they're under attack. Daniel Andrews was saying, "Oh, my family's being threatened." It's all this stuff about threats. The Andy Medic stuff. Andy Medic has been threatened, and his daughter or his son. I can't work out which it is. You know, all that the whole stuff. So it's all very. You can see that's the narrative they're pushing. They think that obviously they think there's some gold in their hills, but I don't. I mean, as I said, but I think they're manufacturing it all, as we said about. Some strange person they had a photograph of in a different country, wasn't it? That they accused wanted to assassinate Daniel Andrews. What a load of rubbish!
Oh, he was from another country.
It's always fake. It's always completely fake. Yeah, always.
What was it? I didn't look at. Did anyone look into that story properly?
Where did that big gun from? Where did he get that big gun from? It was huge.
It's like.
I mean, a lot of people are disappointed with Trump's presidency, but he gave us that great words. You know, there's two words in it: fake news.
Yeah,
now, everyone says fake news. Even the other side say it all the time. Fake news. You know.
Yeah, and that's exactly.
Well, the lying press.
The other legacy of Trump, I think, is
he's still coughing. Hang on.
Enemy of the people. Whether you agree with him about X, Y, or Z, you know, the media is the enemy of the people. I mean, I think they're worse than
that's right.
Yeah, you know, they are the enemy of the people.
David, so can Craig Kelly be our Trump?
Could Craig Kelly and Clive Palmer?
Well, Clive can't because he's not running, so he's.
You know what? Yeah, Craig Kelly could be. Yeah, and Clive's got the money to back him.
Personality though, does he? Doesn't really have the swagger of Trump. You know, Trump's got that. You know.
I don't know. I know this guy with a beard and silver hair who could maybe fit the if you get the money behind him. Clive Palmer, if he's listening.
Talking about you, Damien. There's a
Which one's he talking about?
Wow, they can run together. You know?
David, if you bring
Vice President and President, we'll do it.
There you go. And I volunteer for Minister of Propaganda.
We're going to change the Constitution.
If you bring up the media as the enemy of the people at the marches or the Parliament steps, no one backs an eyelid. They go, "Yep, absolutely." That's how they're thought of now, and that's what I've been saying for ages. It's almost like we've had a coup, and because when there's a coup, the first thing they take over is the media.
Yes,
because
true.
the reporters have been coming down, interviewing people on the steps, and the people are trying their best to say all the right things. And you're thinking, what for? They're not going to report it.
Yeah,
and the reporters have actually.
I think we should understand COVID.
Essential planks of totalitarianism is that the political class and the media are completely in lockstep. That is totalitarianism. I mean,
lockstep is the Rockefeller plan, isn't it? Lockstep is the Rockefeller plan.
Yeah, it's one of the key.
I think we should understand that there has been a coup, and I mean it's a global coup. It's a coup of the global. Because you saw what happened with Trump. I mean, there's no way Biden got 80 million votes. I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, I mean, Obama got 79 million, and he was one hell of a campaigner. And I didn't particularly like Barack Obama, but he could give a speech and he could motivate people. I could understand him winning the presidency twice. You know what I mean? Because of what a great campaigner and speech maker he was, right? There's no way Biden defeated Trump. No way. So what we are witnessing is a global coup, and it is this agenda, and I think people hate it. Because
most popular president ever in the history.
It's just rubbish. There's no way.
And Trump, the most popular second placed person ever in election. So wow,
Trump's vote went up.
Yeah,
and he lost. That's never happened in history, by the way. Never.
That's right.
Amazing.
And I have to admit, with Obama, I remember first when they had a 45-minute speech. I was sitting at home. I thought, I'm not going to watch a 45-minute speech. And that was the first time I watched him, and I watched a 45-minute speech. And then
I watched his speeches.
All his speeches because he was incredible. He was just incredible at it.
And when he did that whole thing where he killed Osama bin Laden, which I don't necessarily believe, but as a media circus, that thing where he came out and I killed him and we sent in the SEALs into Pakistan. Even I, as a right winger, was like, man, that's pretty fucking gangster, mate. You know, good go Obama, baby.
Smooth PR. I don't believe a word.
Smooth, baby. Yeah. I know you don't believe a fucking word.
None of it.
David doesn't believe anything.
Wait on, they went in there with these stealth helicopters. Like, okay, we're going with these stealth
helicopters. They did do that, David.
Radar can't get them. We're flying under the thing. Then they crashed it, and they got a big Chinook to come in and pick them up. And that's like a double-decker bus in through the Pakistani army's going, can you hear that? I think it's a double-decker bus. I
couldn't hear it.
It was such bullshit. You know?
Yeah. It's
and then they dropped Obama's body into the ocean so he wouldn't become a martyr.
Well, they chucked it in the ocean because they didn't want anybody saying that's not
bullshit. It's all bullshit. Anyway. It's all lies. I doubt any of it ever fucking happened. Any of it. It's all bullshit.
I was talking about the presentation as a media.
No, I think he died 20 years ago. And I think he had nothing to do with it. And he was
working
dead
with Elvis in a fruit shop.
You know? Yeah, it's all bullshit.
Don't get David started on September 11th. I tell you, you'll never be sold.
I always thought
David doesn't think the moon landing's real either. Next he'll be saying the moon landing was a setup. It was done in the Hollywood base.
JFK, don't mention JFK, whatever you do.
I'm happy to talk about JFK for 4 hours. Have we got a spare 4 hours? I'm happy to go. Just let me go, okay? And I will go.
What about 4 minutes?
Where were we?
Give me the 4-minute version.
No, I need a good 4 hours.
You need the 4-hour special. Well, coming soon to Cafe Lockout, the 4-hour special.
On his own, just talking.
David Thrussel examines the assassination of JFK.
Cafe Lockout, the outtake.
He's been working on.
How about Gibraltar?
What's going on in Gibraltar?
118% fully vaccinated.
118? That's a great job.
On there that's unvaccinated, and the hospitals are filling up. Don't look at us. We can't.
Surprise! The vaccine started kicking in, hasn't it? You know, they got to keep this going. So the vaccine's obviously going to be COVID from now on. You know, ring the little bell.
Because apparently people come over from Spain to work, but you can't come over to work unless you're fully vaccinated, and so that's it. So they got a real problem. And
well, Israel as well is one of the most vaccinated countries on earth, and they're having huge problems at the moment. There's this video that was going around all week about that, and I mean it's kind of interesting because the globalists don't seem to have any special kinship to Israel. I mean, I thought maybe they might, but no. I mean, it seems like everybody's getting the vaccine, everybody's beginning to suffer for it. So this seems to be, as David has said, it's an evil event that crosses all cultures and it's against all peoples.
Yeah. Well, Markian just told me that Austria, we're going to lock down just the unvaxxed, but now they're locking down everybody. And then by February, everyone who's Austrian must be vaccinated. So but that's what they're saying now. But there's a long time between here and February. There's a lot of protests.
Yeah.
And so I don't think the leaders are realizing that the people aren't as
obedient anymore
that they thought they were. I think,
and many people who've had the 2 shots don't want the booster. They begin to realize it's a scam, you know. But David did predict. David has predicted constantly that things will get worse. And this thing like in Austria, like it's got to be everyone's got to have it. I mean, this is what the next stage is, where it's mandatory for everybody.
They've obviously got a schedule. I mean, as I said, before, I spoke to someone in Holland. The dates were all exactly the same. Everything was the same. We spoke to someone in Italy. It was all the dates it was like a mirror image of what we're seeing here.
Yeah.
They've obviously got a schedule. They've obviously got more evil shit coming down the pipe. I'm not trying to spread fear. I'm just trying to say be prepared. And
I know you say that, David, but today to see that many people, you cannot ignore the hope.
Yeah, you can't.
And you know the other thing? This was the most amazing thing, David. When I was walking down Burke Street, there's a lot of people holding up religious things. And on the loudspeaker, somebody was actually saying the Hail Mary prayer over and over. And I thought, that's extraordinary. I never thought I'd see that in Australia. I thought people were going, what, you're talking prayers? But no one was laughing. Everyone was going on. Huge religious movement. Some woman came up to me and said, Michael, because you and Damien have Father Rizzo on, there's 800 Catholics here today. 800 Catholics have come out and are marching today because you do Father Rizzo. So there's a big thing for Father Rizzo next week.
That's the whole thing is people don't like this stuff.
That's it. You've got religious people and lots of religion everywhere. There's the Parliament steps are covered with the word God.
Yeah,
people
it makes perfect sense because what we're facing is evil. We're facing evil. We're in a battle with evil. So of course, you know, in a battle with evil, you have to rally with good. You know, it's as simple as that.
It's simple as that. Yeah.
I didn't know I was Jesus' friend. Where did that go? There, look. Can you see the screen?
No, I can't see it. Not up on screen yet.
I can't. It goes so quick. Anyway, so that's what you can today. Even I think not only here, the globalists around the world will be going, we didn't expect that from Melbourne. And it's growing. And it is growing because it feels so wonderful to be there. People don't care. They're not scared anymore. They're not scared of getting the COVID. They're next to each other. People are coming up going, I've had it. I think I had it. Oh, well, you know, if I get it, I get it. So they're not scared of the virus. They're not scared of being together. And two beautiful things happened. When I was walking back, because that's what happened once we had to go back to our cars. Suddenly we took over the city again because you had hundreds of thousands of people walking back to their cars. We came up to a police line who tried to stop us. And then Damien here and a few others actually broke through. But then we decided to keep going the other way. So
yeah, I'm muscling into these cops going, can't move aside, boys. Move aside. I get through to the other side, and then they go, oh, no, we're going to keep going with these guys. I'd say, sorry, can I come back to the group?
I think it's all that playing a police officer on those TV shows. I think you've got a bit of police blood in you, mate.
Yeah, a little bit of polish. But no, the problem for us, isn't it? Like, we don't have control of the police or the military. So ultimately, that
or the media.
Yeah.
And I should say, yes. One day they will join us. Hopefully, one day they will join us.
Well, that's what I hope.
They were on the edge. I saw them smiling and chatting to a lot of protesters. Then I saw this young Asian woman with a mask on watching, and I just said, pull it off. And she did. And then she came and walked with me for about half an hour. And then we had another young Asian guy further down the road. I think Damien was there when we saw this.
Yeah, I saw
and we said, pull it off. And he did. And when he did, he erupted in a huge smile. It was like he'd been freed. And I'm thinking, this is happening. People are going, screw this. I want to be alive. I want to be human. I want to be accepted. And we're a bigger crowd now. And they've been using peer pressure against us. Well, now we've got 400,000 people marching for freedom, singing, dancing, getting on, being everything that is good about Australians. And we are the counterculture now, and people want to be a part of it.
Yeah, and I think you posted that video.
I went into Target and I told them to, stop enforcing the vaccine passports.
What they say?
They didn't listen to me really. But I said it pretty loudly, so they heard. They definitely heard.
No, I think you played that great video this week of I think it was from last week's protest where one of the protesters went up to a cop and hugged them, and then he hugged them back, and it was excellent, and you could see a lot of cops seeing that and thinking, What the fuck?
The feels are good. The feels are great, and it's important. But until we dismantle this system, which
it is. The system, though, it still exists, and it's all around us, mate. This system of apartheid.
Yeah.
You want to go to Kmart? You got to have your. You got to have your death check.
And I saw 2 COVID cops with guns in holsters, jackets off so you could see them cruising around on Sydney Road yesterday, Richard, going into a little French patisserie to make sure that everyone had their vaccine passport.
And they're authorised officers. They're authorised officers. I mean, that's literally the Stasi. That's literally the Stasi. That's what was in Germany.
People,
okay? David?
I mean, we've still got our... we met the guy that made us the cross today. We've still got... fines that haven't been paid. You know, I know my friend Steve keeps getting, you know, he's up to like $20,000 worth of fines, and he has no intention of paying them. And apparently there's like 90% of these fines aren't being paid. The shopkeepers could actually do the same. They could actually go, screw it, I'm having a business. I'm not going to apartheid. Give me all the fines you want. I'm not ever going to pay it. I'm just not going to pay it. I'm going to be open for business.
So what it needs
is non-compliance.
Of course. What all these things need
to be broken
is critical mass, because that's what you're seeing on the street now. Is the critical mass? It's enough. You know, it's enough people for people to understand. Oh, okay, this is okay. This has power.
Yep.
This has success. I'm going to join it. It's critical mass. You know.
And what about next week?
Momentum.
Big W. What if 10,000 of us just walk straight into Big W? What are they going to do? 10,000 people are going to walk in. We're going to have a browse.
I even passed a cafe
obviously
today.
they couldn't stop that.
Myers, 10,000, walk in.
I was past a cafe today, an outside cafe, and about 8 of the people got up from the tables and came through and congratulated myself and Damien. I think Damien was with me. I don't know. As we came by and were asking how I was and this, and they came up. There was no animosity. There was no thing that they've been vaccinated, so they can sit there. But obviously, if they, I think they would have loved to have come down, sit down, and have a wine. So people want to be together. This is what's beautiful. I think there's like today they were talking about the 5 truths, the 5 freedoms, but we have other things. We have kindness, decency, tolerance, a love of common sense. There was another one, I can't remember what it was.
Debate, dialogue.
These things.
Well, we have
qualities. What made us the most livable city.
Yeah.
We didn't become the most livable city because of the weather or because we got enough cafes. We did it because we were bloody cool people.
Yep.
Melbournians were fucking cool.
I agree.
A cool race, tolerant. You could do what you want. Got on, and you know, and that's why we were the most livable city. People loved us,
and that's what we want back, mate. We don't want this totalitarian Dan Andrews.
We were that. Today, we were Melbournians again, telling this wannabe dictator, F off. We don't want you. We don't want your bullshit. You know, we'll deal with the COVID. We'll deal with it, and we'll remain ourselves. We want our businesses open. We want to be able to travel. We want to be able to associate, and we want to be able to say what we want, and we want to be able to work and leave our kids alone. Don't come anywhere near them ever. Don't sit there in a little committee thinking, how can we hurt their kids? Don't even think of it. Fuck off. And that's what we said today.
Wow.
Great.
Why didn't I say that on the stage? That was so much better than what I said.
You should have said that for sure.
Write it down next time.
You'll never get that 5 minutes back.
Save it for next week.
500,000 people.
And that's
come on.
And you do it now when there's maybe 70 watching. I mean, mate.
And they're all going, why didn't you say that?
Yeah, God.
He's just rehearsing. It's a rehearsal.
Rehearsal.
Yeah.
Have you heard that? Have you heard the project could be cancelled? That's another interesting bit of news this week. Because it's gone 2 ways. Why don't we suggest this? I think Cafe Lockdown should be the new project. You know what I mean? There could be a slot open, mate. You know, between 6:30 and 7:30. You know, you can just slip right in there, Michael and Damo.
No, don't.
Gotta have you guys.
Don't dance.
They wouldn't let us on, no.
No, don't dance. They're the devil. Don't dance with them. Fuck them. Don't. You know, if they extend you their little slippery, you know, their little gold coins.
Come on, just a little Watusi. Just a little Watusi.
No, don't dance with the devil. Don't dance with the devil.
Terrified of us. Oh my God.
In the pale blue light. Well, I was joking, but
we can toe the line, Michael. We can toe the line.
No, come on.
he's pitching it now. He's pitching it, David.
Don't take their silver. Don't dance with the devil. Don't do it.
30 pieces of silver, as Judas once said.
That was the other thing today. Was I actually took pictures of it? The amount of people. I see. I've got one of them. I probably don't. The amount of people and the posters that they're holding up are quotes from the Bible.
Yeah,
and they don't look like religious people.
People know they're fighting evil.
Guys in black t-shirts.
We realise that, as I said, they're coming after children.
They actually just got the number. They've just
and when they're trying to normalise in the media
to find out what it says.
And this has been happening. They've been trying to, like normalise myocarditis in children. You see the narrative. They're saying, it's like the stress of lockdowns is, causing children to have heart attacks. It's like, fuck off, man. We know what it is.
So this is God's plan. He's returning us to the Father. Yep. This is part of God's plan.
Well, I think this is a really interesting thing, because they always say, that God's coming back, Jesus is coming back, and literally pre-COVID, I couldn't believe this would be coming out of my mouth.
Yeah.
But I have seen evil. I've seen it.
Yeah.
I've had it bouncing off my head. I've seen it.
Yeah, we're living through it.
Now people are saying God is coming back. God is coming back. I'm sorry, but you can feel God, and God is just goodness. And that 400,000 people today, no one was breaking anything. No one was destroying anything. This was goodness. This was a walking church of people wanting freedom and why didn't I say that at the speech? That's even better.
You could have added that to what you said. You added that to what you said before.
you would have, you would have been in you would have been 100 greatest speeches. They would have been calling you up to inclusion in the next edition.
You will not sleep a wink tonight. Just turning it over and over.
My life. I should have.
A walking church. I mean, Jesus, that's Martin Luther King worthy, mate.
Yeah, I know.
It is. Remember that. Use it next week, mate. You're gonna have $1 million next week, so you'll be right.
What?
Sorry, David. Well, you're the one that looks like Jesus.
Write it down.
You just watch the replay. What's the replay, mate? What's the replay? Bloody hell.
Oh, you are a playwright, aren't you, Dave? Remember that. Yeah? Write it down.
And Markian, the funniest thing today was Markian. You'll hate me for saying this, but he missed a note. So he actually played
the people's violinist.
Australians, and it was really beautiful. But I think it came out we were all Austrians.
Oh, Austrians,
which is fine because the whole lockstep
Austrian
thing.
corporal.
Yeah, I mean, we basically are.
Sort of perfect in a way.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're all Austrians. We're all Dutch. We're all Australian. Because, as you say, I mean, this is a global attack upon humanity by our own governments. I mean, this is the tragic.
It's a global war.
And David sent me something interesting this week. You sent me a little kind of links on Twitter about the Young Leaders group from the World Economic Forum. And these are all the people who now run our countries, but they all went to this kind of thing in the 90s for the World Economic Forum Young Leaders Organization. Jacinda Ardern, Dan Andrews, the guy who runs Ireland, the Prime Minister of Ireland. I can't remember that guy's name. He's kind of half Indian. Vadarek or something like that.
Radica.
That's him.
Radica.
And
Leo Radica.
Yeah, that's him. And a whole bunch of them. And all the leaders, and Macron was there. And so it's like they've been training this. They've been training this kind of
Cinder, of course.
Bureaucratic class to basically do this for 30 years, it seems. And it was extraordinary to see that. Wow. They're all part of this young leaders group.
Sort of globalist incubator, and every smarmy, revolting globalist name you can think of has been through this globalist incubator. Now they've hatched, they've spawned, they're terrorizing the planet. But, and this was all in the public domain. This is all stuff that's in the public domain.
It's all there. It's hiding in plain sight.
Said on our show a couple of days ago was Steve Adams was saying it's because they think they're doing it for our good, or they're doing it not for our good, but for the planet's good.
Yeah, of course they are. They've got their they've been brainwashed for 30 years. They think they're doing the right thing, of course. So that's why they are dangerous, because there's people who think they're doing the right thing. I mean, I'm sure Andrews is convinced he's doing the right thing.
Yeah. Now, I just want to put a big
evil from that guy. I feel evil emanating out of him.
Well, I just want to do a shout out to Harrison, who was one of the speakers today and one of the organisers of the rally. And he was a very young man, very powerful speaker. And he got arrested for incitement earlier this year. And I couldn't believe, I thought he was terrific. And, so he was really terrific. And the organising was really terrific. Craig Backman came up, was very nice. And
is Monica Smith allowed to
get on?
Attend?
No, she wasn't there. She wasn't there.
Yeah,
Morgan was there, but Monica, did she?
No, Monica. No, not Monica. Monica's mother did a speech. She actually got down on her knees and prayed. It was good. There was one of the other speakers might come on next week, and next week too. Damien and I on Wednesday we're going to redo the Doctor Show, but we're hoping to come out to a country town.
Yes.
Someone in Warrnambool has asked us to come there. Ballarat, Bendigo, so we might do like a double show.
Let's do a day trip and go see David as well.
Yeah, like a day trip. So we're open to
lockdown on the road.
Can't stay in
on the road again.
Go and see the Thrussel.
See the
Thrussel. Come on, bring it on.
Bring it on, baby.
Yeah, so we
not sure how to take that.
Our first country show, Cafe Lockdown on the road.
Yep.
Cafe Lockdown bugs out
on the run.
And behind me here is Maltese. That's Maltese Mary giving me some notes. She gave me some notes on how to go about conducting myself on the show.
Very good.
And I'll do this.
She likes the show, but a couple of notes.
Yeah.
My stop bringing it up. Stop bringing it up because
let the doctors talk. You keep talking over them. Stop it.
We all talk over each other. That's terrible. We do that. Someone said in a comment that Monica can't attend due to her bail conditions. I think that's true. So that's one of the reasons, she's
her bail condition.
Her bail condition. Bail, not bow.
Thanks,
always a comedian.
She's very young to be incontinent.
If she's related to you, Richard.
Comedian.
Okay, anything else?
Where's the gong? Where's the gong?
We'll see you all next week. Let's mobilize.
I haven't done that.
No, cut it out.
I'd forgotten about it. I'd forgotten about that and the goat. We've seen them both.
And the goat.
Yeah. I haven't done the goat to anyone in ages. There's the doctors. The doctors got us another brief ban, but I managed to talk my way out of it.
Is this going out on Facebook tonight? This is going out on Facebook?
Yeah, everywhere. We haven't said anything bad tonight.
Good. Well, remember to, all turn up. And I tell you what, I'm going to break my official cherry next week with protesting. Next Saturday, I'm coming, gang. So count me in.
Didn't I see you drive past the steps? Didn't you drive past the steps the other night?
I did. I did drive past the steps.
And that's not participating.
No, he actually got out and he did a selfie.
I did do a selfie, yep. So I'm getting closer. But next week I'm in, baby. I'm all in. You coming, Thruster?
I don't think it was good though to get the
all right, great.
Just to finish,
get the police to take the selfie, Richard.
Just to finish the show, could we let David do his 4 hours on JFK?
Yeah, quick. Just a quick 4 hours.
No, just to get started. It's really.
Thank you, Australia.
Thank you, Australia.
Actually, this is going to be things.
You guys can back off. I'll talk to the goat. You guys can rack off. Fine.
These young men are coming on tomorrow night. I've got to organise it now. They were at there today. They've written this song. All of them have had their things cancelled. I saw them on the Parliament steps on Anthony Burge's video. This is where I got this from. And hopefully they're coming on tomorrow night. And David Franz will be popping in. He's got something he wants to say, so he'll be on too at the end of that. So and thank you, gentlemen, for a lovely show. Listen to these boys. These boys are terrific, and they were a huge hit today, so they might be too big for our show tomorrow. So let's see if they
like
come
David
on.
Backman.
we've been writing this song for the last 3 weeks because we just can't stand what's happening. We couldn't bottle it inside, so we just have to express it through music, the best way we know how as musicians. We're not allowed to perform anymore. I can't perform because I'm not vaccinated. So many gigs I had to refuse, you know, Christmas gigs, Channel 10 gigs I can't do anymore. I can't teach, I'm a teacher. I can't teach anymore because I'm not vaccinated. So we prepared this song to speak our message. So I hope you...
Oh, and the names are Paul Casper and Bradley Marshall.
You appreciate the song and you can resonate with it. Thank you.
And I just want to say before we go on, we'll play the whole thing. But a lot of people put the young people down, saying the young people have no fights. Bullshit.
That's great. That should be number one. That song, you know, that should be like number one.
Honestly, if you find the song, it's really lovely, and I hope they're not too big that they can't come on. They're really lovely boys. Lots of young people down there. I went down there last night. They were having a rave party, all dancing there. They're all beautiful on the steps of tyranny. So anyone that says our young people are cowards or lazy,
of course they're
bullshit.
Not. They're Australians, mate.
Background noises are great,
and they're rising up.
Noises.
This is a people's movement. Yeah. This is a people's movement, baby.
Right. It is grassroots.
We will rise. We watch you hide behind your lies.